Hey friends, welcome back. Today we've got a video to answer a question that has been on the minds of many of you over the past few weeks. And that question is,
why keto?
Why keto?
Which sounds like a martial art.
Why keto? Jiu-jitsu and why keto offered Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Along with capoeira and taekwondo.
All right, if you are new around here and this is your first video, welcome to the channel. I hope that you enjoy what you see. Take a look around and consider hitting that red subscribe button. Many of you have asked over the last few weeks why we are on the ketogenic diet, because our grocery hauls have changed a bit and I've mentioned it here and there. And we just wanted to address that like once and for all so that you all know. So when was the first time that we even heard about keto? I don't know exactly when, but it was a friend of a friend and we were at a party and they were avoiding most of the foods there, and it came up that they were on the ketogenic diet. And I was like, oh, don't know what that is, but I'm gonna continue eating my carbs.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that because
I'm
that typical kind of person who's like, oh, diets? Yeah, so I'll have fun with that. I'm going to eat all the good tasting things.
Yeah, that's when I first heard of it. I wasn't real familiar with it. In my mind, I think it was just like, oh, you eat all the meat and bacon. And for you, when was your first time?
The first time I remember hearing about it was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
He does the ketogenic diet. He talks about it fairly frequently. He has doctors and trainers and stuff on who specialize in it and its benefits and things like that. He has them on and they talk about it. It's kind of hard to ignore sometimes.
So, of course, I went through a stint where he was sending me some of like the podcasts that he thought I would like from Joe Rogan, and many of those were centered around health and health-based like topics involving the ketogenic diet. When we started listening to those, at that same time, I was going through like a health crisis of sorts, if that's what you want to call it, but trying to find a way of eating and dieting and lifestyle that would help kind of counterbalance the negative side effects of my autoimmune disorder. And I don't want to get into all of that. I have another video all about my autoimmune disorder that I will link up top and down below that you can check out. Just to sum it up, basically I have a lot of inflammation from head to toe and a lot of health issues from that. And so I know that a lot of our immune system starts in our gut and with the food we eat.
So when one day I'm listening to a podcast while I'm working and all of a sudden I hear, oh yeah, well, you know, when you eat this diet, it starts cutting back on inflammation and it's shown drastic improvement with people who have autoimmune diseases and stuff. I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. And sometimes when you're listening to things just that are on, it becomes kind of background. You pick up things here and there, cueing on keywords. I really started seriously paying attention to what they were saying. And then I started sending text messages off to her up until the point where I'm like, you know what, this whole thing would probably be beneficial for her to listen to, so I sent it to her.
Yeah, was that the one with
Dom D'Agostino?
Yeah, so there were a few that centered like very much around keto. So anyway, that's kind of where it took off. And then it was me at night after everyone went to bed just like researching. So for many of you who are concerned about how drastically things have changed with our eating habits and maybe don't understand or agree with them, one, it's okay not to agree. That's fine. I don't mind if you are vegan or vegetarian, or if you are paleo or Whole30, or you just don't care what you eat, that's you. For us, we started this basically for health reasons. There is a lot of research out there in favor of the ketogenic diet for helping with epilepsy and seizures and cancer and autoimmune disorders. Just like with any diet, I think you're gonna find things to support and negate. And you have to kind of just make the decision for yourself and for your family. So for me, it's a health thing. It's to help combat the inflammation and side effects from my autoimmune disorder, and to lose weight, because I've battled with my weight for basically ever, it feels like. That was another like positive side effect of doing the ketogenic diet, is the weight that I'm shedding. I am now about 5 weeks into it. As far as staying under 20 net carbs a day, I have been 5 weeks in with no issues. I've lost almost 12 pounds and 3% body fat in that time. And I feel great. Don't you worry about me. As far as him, he's got different reasons and different goals with the keto diet, so I'm gonna let him go to town on that.
Well, beginning of this year, I started paying a lot more attention to my health. I used to work out a lot when I was younger, and one day, around the beginning of the year, it just kind of hit me where I was thinking, man, if I had just, kept up with that stuff back then up until now, I'd be in such great shape. And then it's like, well, in 5 years from now, I'll probably look back and go, if I would have kept up, if I would have, started doing it then and kept up with it then, I'd be in the same position. So it's like, if I just start now paying attention to my health, down the line, I'll be healthier, in better shape, and be happier about it. So I started doing that, and then as I'm, started just pretty much exercising, screw the diet, because I still like pizza. As she started doing her research, and I started, because of the podcast, inadvertently doing research, I decided that, I'm gonna give this a try too. It'll help support her that way.
That way he's not bringing home ice cream and eating it in front of me, because that's the kind of guy he is.
To be fair, usually I bring home ice cream and I'm like, ice cream for everybody, and then she gives me that dagger look, like would knock you dead.
Like, he knows.
And I'm like, oh yeah, your diet.
Sorry.
You're dieting.
Anyway.
Little ice cream won't kill you, will it? So I figured, it'd be easier, she makes an omelet, she makes 2 omelets, and then it keeps it so that the food in the house, outside of, what the kids have, because, we're not forcing the diet on them. But outside of what they have, all the food in the house is healthy for both of us.
Because right now we are still counting macros and calories, and just to make sure that we're staying on track, because it is so new to us. So when I'm meal planning for the both of us, and it makes things easier when I'm making the same things rather than different things.
For me, there's obviously the health benefits, but I've always been a pretty healthy person. I've always been pretty thin, so it's not for the weight loss. Trying to stay healthier, I do have a history of cancer in my family, so that would help, potentially stave off any cancer or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just an overall, supposedly, based off of the research.
For us, it's the right
Healthier.
choice for us right now. I have had questions asking if I'm being monitored by a doctor. I just had blood work done yesterday, so we'll see how that compares to 2 months ago before I went on the ketogenic diet. So that just kind of sums up why. Where did this come from all of a sudden? And for me, it was literally an overnight. I made probably spaghetti one night, and then after dinner I was like, nope, I'm going keto tomorrow.
It was one of those things where the first couple of times that I had sent her messages about it, and she's like, yeah, that's all well and good, but we can't afford to do that because we're constantly buying meats and things that are expensive.
And I didn't want to have to count and make sure that I stayed under carbs. I'm familiar with counting because I've done Weight Watchers in the past. I've counted calories in the past. So we do use MyFitnessPal. Yes, it's a little bit more tedious right now while we're learning, but the goal is to eventually be able to know our bodies and the food choices enough that it just becomes a way of life and we don't have to track all the time. Maybe, track every once in a while just to make sure we're still on track. That's a lot of track in one sentence. Or,
stay on track.
Right. If I'm at a weight loss, stall, or I've gained, then I would start tracking again. I didn't want to have all that tediousness. I don't know what changed my mind, but it was literally overnight.
Probably waking up and feeling like crap.
Yeah, that probably had a lot to do with it. So I woke up one day, I basically made him eat the rest of the carbs in the house, no joke.
Yeah.
Other than what the kids eat again.
I'm only about coming up on 2 weeks into it because of that.
Yeah.
It's I'm doing keto, you eat the carbs. It's
most of the carbs were his stuff anyway. It was cereal that he eats. So he had to eat that. So he was keto 4 days a week and then high carb on his workout days basically until about a week and a half or almost 2 weeks ago. But that's where we're sitting. Hopefully that answers your questions. Drop your questions down below. I'd be happy to answer them if I'm able to.
If you have a lot of questions, maybe we'll make another video answering those questions. If
That'll
it's just
be good, yeah. Drop it down below. Maybe we'll do a follow-up video. A lot of you have requested more of this mug in my videos because...
You need to shave.
Yeah. Because I don't know how to end that sentence, but...
Because I'm fun.
Yeah, he keeps life entertaining. All right, friends, thank you so much. Until next time, we will see you later. Bye.